Now, as you're probably aware, I'm a massive fan of strategy games. So when it comes to strategy games that have released over the last couple of years, I think that Frostpunk is my personal favorite. Now, I gotta be honest with you, I didn't think that I was gonna jump into another playthrough of this game, but it turns out they've just released new content called The Rifts. Alright, so the way they're introducing new content is with a season pass. Now, I have to be honest with you, I'm personally not that big of a fan of season passes. I much prefer just simply spending money and then getting the things. But regardless, let's read what it all has to say. So purchase a new season pass, which I've already done, and set off on even more expeditions into Frostpunk's frozen world. With this pass, you'll be granted access to all upcoming game content in this season. So I guess that indicates they may even be planning on multiple seasons at some point as well, including immediate access to the Rifts, which is what we're going to be playing today, and 2 major expansions coming in 2019 and 2020, The Lost Autumn and Project TVADGYCGJR. Now I can imagine the Rifts and The Lost Autumn are going to be pretty similar. I have no idea what this last one is going to be. Experience new level of challenge on a brand new endless mode map where the land itself threatens your survival. Using a new gameplay mechanic, bridge the rifts to access new areas. Expand the city to save your people from inevitable doom. Nice. So we have a unique new endless mode map, new constructible buildings, and new gameplay mechanics. Now, in case you missed my playthrough of the previous times that I've played this game, I'll include the playlist down below in the video description. Obviously, I will explain everything as I go. So even if you didn't watch those previous videos, you can still watch this just fine. Now, apparently there's a new Endless Mode map, which does bear a little bit of explanation. Endless Mode is basically a version of the game where it keeps on going and going and going. So I have to decide myself when I decide to quit, either because, you know, the game beat me, or because I have finished, quote-unquote, finished everything that I wanted to do. Oh, and also, by the way that these videos will work is that I'm gonna play for about, say, 45 minutes to maybe 60 minutes or so, and then I'll cut out all of the mistakes or all of the boring parts, so you have something that is hopefully gonna be a lot of fun to watch. But without further ado, I think, can I jump into it from here? I can't? Ay. So I figured out how to play. So it's under Endless Mode, and then we have to decide if you want to go Endurance or Serenity. So there's new content available for both of them, and I'm assuming, yeah, Rifts is going to be available for both as well. So we have to make the decision which of the two we want to play. So first up, there's Endurance for Survivalists. Scarce resources, bitter cold, and frequent blizzards. Every day will be a struggle. Or we can do Serenity. Plenty of resources, mild weather, and short blizzards. Built the city. No. You kidding me right now? We're obviously gonna go Endurance mode. Alrighty, so here we go. Ooh, look at that. So there's already bridges going towards different areas of the terrain, it looks like. Very nice. Alright, so here's the story. Generator 266 was built on a rocky shelf near a former seashore. To grow the city, a way to cross the network of rifts will be needed. Okay, so that definitely means that this city is not gonna look very pretty, okay? I'll gotta warn you in advance. I will probably try to make it aesthetically pleasing, but I can imagine that this is gonna be a little bit of a mess. All right, so we can customize the scenario. You know what? I think I'm gonna play on hard. I don't want to go on extreme, because that's just going to be super painful. Don't want to go on easy either, because that sounds a little lame. A medium, I mean, I've played this game a couple times in the past. I'm feeling a little confident here, okay? And obviously, Darkest Dungeon taught us that, you know, triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall. Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer, so we gotta be careful. Great game, by the way. Another one of my personal favorites when it comes to strategy games in recent years, but I think we're gonna go ahead and play on hard difficulty. People's needs on hard. People will be more likely to get sick, and they will become hungry faster. Resources will be gathered slower, technology will be researched slower, and the Frostland will have fewer resources, okay? And last but not least, people will be more sensitive to bad events, and good events will have less of an effect. People will be pessimistic. Okay. So without further ado, we're gonna start. There it is! Our beautiful generator! Oh man, it's been a while since I've played this. I think it's been about a half year. Ooh, apparently we need to go ahead and give this this beautiful settlement a name as well. Now, real quick, for those of you that have never seen me play this game before, maybe you've watched my StarCraft videos, and maybe you subscribed pretty recently. First off, thank you very much. The TLDR of this game, right? Basically, we are in a post-apocalyptic world where all of the people that are still alive, they have moved up north. Now, the issue with moving up north is, well, first off, it's very, very cold, and obviously resources are very scarce as well. What has made me successful in my previous playthroughs of this game is thinking big picture, okay? So, for example, early on, we're gonna have to make the decision whether or not the kids will have to work. Our colony over here is gonna have children. Do we want them to work and for them to carry the load as well that they probably will need to carry in order for us to be successful? What that means is that in the short term, sometimes Emperor Loco is gonna have to make some very difficult decisions, and it may result in a few deaths here and there, and it's gonna, you know, make me look like an absolutely terrible person. My goal, and I'm gonna say it right now, I've said it many times in the past whenever I've played this, my goal is that the city must survive. That's it. Everything else is secondary. The city must survive. So if I have to make a tough decision, sometimes it's important to take a step back, right? And to think about that big picture goal, and that is, well, the city must survive. So here we are. What are we gonna call this this beautiful settlement? We're gonna call it, of course, Locopia. I mean, what else could it be? Northwick, New Derby, Snowton, New Liverpool, New Edinburgh? No. Well, we can do New Locopia, right? If we're gonna go with new, I mean, that's the suggestion anyways. Here we go. New Locopia, our beautiful settlement. Now, it's been a little while since I've played, though, so I wouldn't be surprised if I'm gonna have to restart a couple times. So if you're very familiar with this game and you've played it recently, be prepared to cringe for terrible mistakes that Loco will make. Alrighty, so look at that. That's the first thing. The bridge, that's a new structure already. Let's have a look. The first bridge. Sir, we have built the first bridge. Thanks to this construction, we will be able to reach distant resources. Expanding our city onto neighboring areas will be necessary to survive. We should build more bridges. Now, the thing is, we have a generator over here in the center, right? And that's obviously gonna allow us to get the temperature up. If I decide to turn this thing on right now, it will basically generate steam, and the steam will basically warm up everything, right? Which is nice, but obviously it's gonna be much warmer the closer you are right here to the generator. So the further we expand away, the colder it's gonna be, and either we like produce a lot of... Oh, actually, you know what? This map isn't even that big. I thought we were gonna have a really large map, but it's not the case. This is it. But anyways, you know, we're gonna have to make sure that we allow the people to transport back and from, and we also have to make sure that we either like dissipate steam all throughout the city, and obviously that's gonna cost us a lot more coal, a lot more resources. And we can also decide to maybe have like some of the furthest reaching plateaus, so maybe like something right over here up north, which is really quite far away from the main settlement. We can also run that with machines and whatnot at a later time. At the very least, if this scenario will allow us machines. But yeah, the long story short is that it's a very difficult game. You're gonna have to make some very morally questionable decisions, and it's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Anyways, these are our people right here. That guy called Simon, did I see that correctly? Which one was that? Oh my god, that's me. That's my name. Believe it or not, my mom did not call me, she did not call me Loco. Sorry. Hate to disappoint you. Okay, so we have a bridge already. Now, early on, we're not going to have a whole lot of things available. We're going to have tents. We currently have, how many people? 80? Yeah, we have 80 homeless people. That's not great. Usually, you do want to have the homes as close to the generator as possible because they spend a lot of time. We have a medical post, a cook house, a hunter's hut. So the hunter's hut, basically, they work at night and they gather food for the rest of the people. You can see right here at the top how much raw food we have and how many food rations we have. So we're going to have to make sure we have a cookhouse to cook some of it. So we have coal, wood, steel, and then steam cores at the top. Steam cores, they basically allow us some of the higher technological advancements. They're usually pretty hard to come by. These others are at least something we can harvest. So we have resource depots, gathering posts. We have a workshop for technology and then a bridge. So the bridge apparently is 150 steel and 200 wood. Nice. And now apparently we also have, what is this? A square? A medium-sized square for people to gather and meet? You think my people are gonna have time off? What do you... Wait, no. Loco, calm down. We can't have Emperor Loco just yet, okay? Those tough resources, we'll make them at a later time. Alrighty, so this is a gathering post right here. Now we can obviously send the people to gather, say, these wooden crates right over here, just like that. So that means that they are gonna just simply make their way through the snow and then they gather all of the stuff over here, and it's fun and it works, but it's obviously always a bit of a gamble. I do want them to at least collect a whole bunch of things, so I'll send them towards the different areas nearby. Is there any coal? Am I blind? There's wooden crates, steel wreckage, wooden crates, steel wreckage, wooden crates, steel wreckage, wooden crates, steel wreckage. Okay, so the nearest by coal mine that we can set up is probably going to be over here. And I guess that allows us right here to also test the bridge. So I'll send, yeah, a bunch of people towards the different areas. So we can hold down Alt right here to see all of the different things that are set up. So there's some steel, wooden crates. Okay, so there's actually also a destroyed steam core platform, or transport rather. That's pretty helpful. Cool. Doing just a little bit of exploration here early on. I can't even see that far. There's something up here too. Ah, that's a coal deposit. Okay, so that's going to allow us to continuously harvest more resources. But we'll get to that at a later time. Once we scavenge all of these... Okay, so there's also an iron ore deposit. Wow, okay. Yeah, once the time is right, we'll make sure to harvest all of those, like, higher tier deposits as well. But for now, we'll just go with the bare minimums. Okay, so first things first. I think I want to set up at least a couple of those gathering posts so my people can work over there instead. It's going to be a little bit safer. If it's green, they're going to be able to harvest just like that. So we should probably set one up right over here too. Wood usually is the most important part early on. So let's unpause and let's have these people work. Now we can spend the time right here. We can speed up the time rather so they move a little bit quicker. But already, right, like we have to be careful because I'm spending wood right now on these gathering posts, which is nice. The only issue is that may very well cause me not to be able to make any homes for them when nighttime comes. Okay, so while that's going on, we have the Book of Laws. Now, the Book of Laws, and by the way, for those of you wondering, I know you're gonna ask. I mean, this may look a little bit strange on the green screen, but I've got a beautiful BlizzCon mug. Look at that. I've got some tea. We have the Book of Laws. Now, this is where my moral high ground goes out of the window, okay? We have the Book of Purpose right over here, apparently. Where we can either ascend to become a god, basically a deity, or we can go and go down into this rank right over here too, and basically become, well, the supreme ruler of this people. We can either become like a deity or a dictator. Let me know down below in the comment section if you want me to become a god or an emperor. I haven't quite decided yet, but early on I think we have to work on the Book of Adaption instead. So here's some things that we may want to go for. For example, I can set up child labor right over here. Do I have any children in my settlement? I have 15 children that are just mostly on idle right now. We could decide, okay, you guys can work in the safe jobs. Not a terrible idea, right? However, if you decide to go with child labor, I don't think I can make them medical apprentices, and I also can't make them engineering apprentices. So it kind of is always a decision that you have to make a call for. There's soup, food additives, emergency shift. I think we're gonna go ahead and go towards the extended shift first. So currently the people can only work, well, I think they work like 8 hours or something, or like 10 hours. The extended shift allows me to set them to permanently work 14-hour shifts. Now initially, we need to make sure that we get the emergency shift going, or the emergency shift going rather. This will allow me to force them to work in a facility for 24 hours. However, using the emergency shift will raise discontent, and in general, discontent right now will go up. So these two bars at the bottom are really critical, okay? If discontent goes all the way up to full, we are screwed. Now, Ruben says, preposterous. Are you trying to work people to death? 24 hours on a job? Insane. But that's our lot. See, Paul, you're cool. I don't know about Ruben, man. Ruben is a little bit of a cheeky guy already. So look at that. They're gonna go across the bridge. Very nice. Currently, by the way, my generator is off. Main reason for that is that well, I mean, it's only minus 20 degrees, right? It's practically summer. For Frostpunk's terms, minus 20 degrees is summer, okay? It's all good. Okay, so you can see right here now that they're harvesting, the things are once again going up right here, my resources. So I want to set up a path right over here, so this one can reach the main settlement, so they can actually start construction right there on those two things that I've just set up too. Now we do have to do a little bit of planning, right? So I want to make sure that I have the medical post that can go relatively close to the main settlement, to the main generator, that is. I also want to have the cookhouse relatively close to it. So I think, since that's not going to be top priority right now, we're going to build the tents on the other side. I may destroy some of these trees in the process, and that would be rough, but I don't really see much of an option. Maybe I should actually build the tents over here so we can expand it in this direction, and then we can have some medical posts and maybe the cookhouse over on the other side. I think that might be a good idea. All right, so we'll get started right here with tents. Now, every tent can hold 10 people. I currently have 80 homeless people. So that's their loss. These are going to be right next to the generator. And I guess I can turn this one up here once nighttime comes. So you can see right here the amount of time. And also the future temperatures. So temperature right here at day 4 are going to drop significantly with 2 levels. So that means it's going to go down to minus 40 degrees Celsius. And by the way, for those of you wondering, minus 40 degrees Celsius, how much is that in Fahrenheit? Well, minus 40 degrees. That's the only overlap, okay? I don't know anything about Fahrenheit. But that's about it. Just take it from me, minus 20 is cold. I mean, I can ask my phone. How much is minus 20 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit?
That would be minus 4 degrees Fahrenheit.
Excellent. Minus 4 degrees Fahrenheit, apparently. All right, so it's nighttime. We're gonna go ahead and construct a couple more tents. Gotta be careful though, right? Because I don't want to waste too much of my space around the generator. I need to make sure that I leave room right here. I think I can put down maybe one more. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So these developers, man, they're already being a little bit annoying with us. I'm gonna go ahead and build another tent, the final one right over there. All right, so these people should get to work here pretty quickly. You can see right now they are working on it. Now, early on, it's not a big problem if your people, you know, are a little bit discontent. The issue is that you need to make sure it does not get too crazy. Now that it's nighttime, I'm going to turn on the generator too. And, well, it says the heating is off, but I just turned it on. There we go. So that means that the temperature right now will go up. And you can see that these places over here are all livable. All right, so now that we have got some of these workers available, we can get them to work right there inside of those gathering posts instead. The same is going to happen right over here. Did I work anyone over there? No, not quite. How can I see again where everyone's working? Ah, right, like that. Great. I'm going to move some of the people outside of these wooden crates as well. And then they can move into this building right over here. And we're going to basically make sure that these buildings are going to run on the longer shift. So right now they're working 10-hour shifts. We're going to make them run 24-hour shifts instead. So the main advantage of having people work inside of these gathering posts rather than on like the steel wreckage or the coal in like, you know, directly, it basically allows them to work in an environment that's going to be a little bit cooler. Or rather a little bit warmer. So we're hopefully not going to get too much trouble. We want to make sure that we clean up, though, as much as we have close to our settlement. We can destroy these gathering posts after all of these resources are gone. So, for example, there's only 60 resources available in that thing. It's really not that much. But we want to make sure that we harvest that as much as possible. So right now, discontent goes down because everyone's got a home. And nighttime has arrived just fine. Okay, so here's one issue. Dorothy Roginal. She's got a very low risk of getting ill. Guess what? She got ill. And who else? Elizabeth as well. Alright. So that's not great. What we can do, though, what is great, is that we can introduce a new law, and I'm gonna go with the extended shift like I already mentioned. So building a city in this frozen hell requires sacrifice. People will get more done if they work longer shifts. A new law in the city. We're gonna extend the shift right here inside of that gathering post as well as the one right over here to be a little bit longer. Roderick says, I know many will complain, but we must work harder to survive. What? 10 hours isn't enough? I suppose in our circumstances. Oh god. Actually, there's a lot of people that are sick. I'm playing on a harder difficulty, right? So more people will get sick faster. So yeah, that's why I mean, like, I might have to restart. Don't plan on dropping down the difficulty, though. Unless, you know, it turns out to be extremely challenging. Or if I'm a complete idiot and I don't really realize what's going on. Alrighty, now the game is giving us some explanations here on everything that's going on. If you want to read it, I guess you can pause it. Pretty self-explanatory, though. And, well, like I mentioned, I will try and talk everything, or everyone through this as well. Alrighty, so first order of business in the morning, as soon as we have 25 lumber, is building a medical post. I believe the medical post by default works 25 hours, or well, 25 hours, 24 hours. So that should be pretty good. How do I, is there a hotkey for this? Ah, yeah. Ah, perfect. Alright, so let's go ahead and make the medical post right over here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna make that right over here. And then I also want to make sure that I get my cookhouse ready to go. So for example, right, I think it's totally fine. Ooh, that's a good spot, actually. That works out perfectly. I think it's perfectly fine for the kids to work in that cookhouse. Now, some of you might disagree with me, but I don't think it's going to be a terrible idea, right? Because, I mean, they're going to be the ones preparing the food. We're not going to have them work too far or, you know, in too many dangerous circumstances. I think it would be fine. A couple workers are once again available. We'll have them clearing out some of these wood crates right over here. And is that in range? No, that's not going to be in range. Those wooden crates over there. Maybe I should set up another one of these gathering posts to gather these resources a little bit more rapidly. And then also including the ones in the back. So we can build a street right over here too. Once again, these streets will be destroyed later on. So will these buildings. We're just going to have them set up just like that. Just because people are getting ill, I think I want to have a gathering post right over here too. And we'll connect that one with a street as well. Very good. Man, the temperature is going to drop real quick, actually. I got to be really careful about that. Okay, so I will open a medical post. So this is one of those quote-unquote quests in the game. More sick beds needed. Captain, some of our people are concerned about the rising number of untreated sick. They're asking you to address the problem. So I have a couple of things that I can choose. I can decide right here that I'm not going to address this. I can decide that I want to open up another medical post, which I think I'm going to do. Or I can promise the sick will be treated. This one is difficult. Oh, it's actually 1/3 of the sick to be treated. I think that's fine. I already have a medical post building. I think I'm going to go with that one. I don't know if it's already done, to be honest. No, it's not. But anyways, so I need to treat 2 people right here. And you can see that in the bottom left-hand corner. So my objective right now is to survive the first storm, which resolves in 13 days. And to take care of the ill. Provide treatment for the people. And I need to make sure that I treat 2 of them. Seems very reasonable. So far, so good. I can introduce a new law once again as well. Great. Now that we have a cook ready to go, right? We can have a cook at least working on some of the raw foods. We can decide to make the food a little bit more delicious. We can add food additives. We can add sawdust to meals to make them more filling. Although not exactly tasty or healthy. Or we can make soup instead. We can cook soup instead of full meals to feed more people with the same amount of raw food. I don't like food additives. Not a big fan of it. Soup also kind of sucks. All of it sucks. But it is what it is. So, since I don't have a lot of raw food right now, I think this makes sense, right? So hope will fall slightly, discontent will rise slightly, and eating soup will cause discontent as well. So people who eat this food become discontented. Okay. We're going to introduce that one. We'll have a couple of workers over here, and they're going to make soup instead for that amount of time. And in this one right here, the medical post, we can only have engineers. So there's currently workers and engineers available. And some of the engineers indeed are working right over here. We're gonna move 10 of them over right here into that gathering post, and then 5 right here inside of that medical post. So there we go. You help the sick, they and their families will be grateful. Oh, apparently I don't even need to treat them? Amazing. I thought I wasn't gonna get that until, alright, fair enough. So 5 people right now being treated. So we can treat 5 people at a time here inside of the medical post. The reason why I didn't want to go over the second medical post just yet is because then I have to dedicate, 10 of those engineers to the medical posts. And I don't know if I want to do that. I think for now, we're going to try it out like this. All right, now one really important thing that we have to get going here pretty fast as well is a laboratory, a workshop. A lab equipped with everything an engineer needs to develop designs for various buildings, technologies, and improvements. I don't really need these to be as close to the generator, if I'm not mistaken. So if you look, for example, right here at a tent, it has base heating level 1, meaning that it's gonna have, it's gonna have to be as close to a heat providing source as possible. When it comes to, for example, the gathering post here, they also have a base heating level of 1. But since people don't spend their whole day there, it's totally fine to move them a little bit further away. I mean, it's not great, but it is what it is. The workshops have a base heating level of 2, meaning that I can put them a little bit further out if I really want to. I think I'm going to put I want to probably have about 3 of these in total at some point. So let's make sure that we at the very least can put them down. I'm going to put them down right over here. I think that means that I could probably build another tent right on the back of this too. Yeah, this works for me. So we're going to have 5 engineers working over there as well in the longer shift. And that should be okay, right? It should be fine. Now you guys that are working right there, digging up those wooden crates with your hands. I don't want you guys doing that anymore. Some of you that are working over there, don't want you working there anymore either. I want you guys to also work in a gathering post. That one's also going to be a little bit longer. Now, people don't have food right now. Maybe I should have gotten that food one a little bit quicker. Would have not been a bad idea. Alright, research right now is also done. I'm actually going to remove 5 of the engineers right here that I just assigned to that gathering post. Remove 5 of the workers here. Workers can go instead over there towards that gathering post. And then we'll assign the engineers towards the workshop. So, as you can see my discontent, by the way, every time I do anything, it's going up. It's going up. It's all a balancing act. We got to be careful. This is the technology tree in the game. Now, it's a little bit overwhelming initially. And it's honestly the place where I think most people make most mistakes, including myself. A steam hub is basically a thing that we can put down on the road, and it will be connected with the generator, and it's gonna provide the exact same heating around it as the generator itself. The only issue is that it consumes a ton of coal. Heaters can be assigned in separate buildings, so in specific buildings I can turn on the heating, and it's gonna improve the base level by 1. This consumes 1 coal per hour. We have the beacon. This one's really critical. I think that's going to be our first research. So this allows us to send scouts to search in the wilderness for goods and survivors and bring them to our city. This is very helpful. Faster gathering, obviously very good as well. Yeah, people will gather pretty much everything faster. A coal thumper, sawmill, steelworks, and then hunter's gear. That's going to be helpful for our food gathering. And obviously, as we progress through it, I mean, for example, there's going to be medical automation. So we can literally have medical robots helping and healing the people instead. But I don't think that's going to be a priority for now. I think it's either going to be exploration or faster gathering. I think I'm going to go with the beacon for now. Yep, allows us to build a beacon. Now, we have to be careful. Temperature is going to go down pretty quickly. And maybe it's going to be a better bet right now for me not to actually go with the beacon, but to, for example, go with, I don't know, generator power. So I could go and build the drawing boards right over here if I were to have 50 wood, and then get the generator power up, which is once again gonna make me burn more coal. So it's all a balancing act. I hope this is gonna be fine. If not, I mean, it's gonna be cold for 2 days, then the temperature will go up to minus 30. Should be fine. Maybe. I don't know. We'll find out. Emperor Loco will try and take care of his people. Can't promise though, I'm gonna do a particularly good job. Okay, so people are are very hungry. We need to make sure that we certainly set up a hunter's hut as well. So as you can see right here, I've got raw food. These food rations aren't going to last very long, though, so we need to make sure we get some hunters' huts going as well. Hunters' huts, basically since people work at night in the hunters' hut, they also have a pretty low heating level. So we don't have to have them too close. I was hoping I was going to be able to put them down over here. I guess for now we can put them over here, like one. And then maybe we can like put a whole bunch of hunters' huts over here at some point. Should I put them down over here? I'm assuming I could probably fit one over here, so... Gotta be careful. This map seems to be all about real estate. We have to be cautious here. The only downside of Hunter's Huts is that they employ a ton of people. Like, basically, it's 15 people, if I'm not mistaken, per Hunter's Hut until we get it upgraded at a later time. So, it's, yeah, it's a pretty tough time. Hopefully, people are gonna be cured, though, relatively quickly. But you can see already we're in quite a bit of trouble. Already we have quite a lot of issues. The main source of my troubles right now is that temperature drop. As it is right now, it's nice and comfortable. Low chances of getting ill. But obviously as soon as the temperature drop is here, there's going to be a lot more temperature, or there's going to be a lot more problems. Alright, so I can put down another medical post if I want to. Which I don't think is a terrible idea. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. It's not great, but I need to make sure that I'm ready for this inevitable issue. Okay, so currently there's no more raw food to process, meaning that I can probably move most of these workers away from that area. And we can probably send them into this place instead. There we go. And that should be okay for now. These engineers can get to work, and then as soon as this structure is done, I'll put them inside of that medical post as well. Wood crates depleted. Okay, great. So some of the resources here are being depleted rather quickly. Very nice. This is going to take a while to harvest, but I guess it's fine because we don't really need that much coal for now. Like, we have quite a bit of coal, and we're still going to harvest quite a bit. Although obviously we always have to we always have to pay attention to what's going on. Now, since I'm just about to assign, and this is going to be my first moral confliction, I guess. Since I'm just about to assign a lot of people to work inside of these hunters' huts, I think we have to be cautious about the amount of people we have working, and I think I should probably get the child labor. I'm sorry, I know some of you are going to be upset with me. I don't really see much of another option, okay? There aren't enough hands to do all of the work. We'll allow children to be employed in safe workplaces like cookhouses or hothouses. The main problem that I have with this is not so much that the kids have to go to work, which obviously is bad. But the main problem is that if I go child labor safe jobs, I can't make child shelters anymore. And that would mean that I can't get these two right over here that are a little bit difficult to read, but they're medic and engineering apprentices. So I think I should go with this one though. I'm sorry. Oh my god, hope goes down. Discontent probably will go up as well. I'm sorry, guys. It is what it is. Alright. So we need to get ourselves 15 workers. Now, most of my workers are currently going to town in these workshops over here. I'm going to send these 15 workers over there into that hunter's hut. Don't know if I'm going to be able to really even assign another person, but what I can do right now is put the kids to work right here in the gathering post instead. So that's a pretty safe job. I mean, the temperature is low, or is pretty high. I mean, until the temperature drop, I guess. And it will, I think, be the best thing we can do for now. We'll want to make sure we harvest that too. Nobody saw that. Alright, beacon has been researched. Great. So the beacon is a piece of technology we can put down. 20 wood, 35 steel. Pretty expensive, actually. But this allows us to send scouts to search the wilderness for goods and survivors and bring them to our people. Lookouts will also spot incoming groups. So this will allow us to get more people eventually. This is, by the way, a thing that really doesn't need any heating. It's just that we really don't have any places to build anything, is there? Jeez. That's a big problem. I mean, I can put it down over there, but then I destroy some of the natural resources. Like if I wanted to put a sawmill down and harvest this wood right over here, that'd be great. Wasn't there a way for me to like get an overview of where all of the natural structures would be? Was it maybe I could? Oh yeah, so look, right there we can see that there's like a coal mine over there. There's still some resource to be harvested right over there too. This is okay, so this is a permanent source of lumber right over here. We can drill into the wall. There's a coal quarry that we can set up over there. There's another one of these lumbering things. Okay, so there's 2 of those lumber gather things. I want to be careful with the positioning here of my structures. So I am actually going to put the beacon as far away as I possibly can. It's going to destroy some of these trees, which sucks, but I think it'll be okay. I hope, maybe. Maybe I'll regret this. Possibly. Okay, and then our next source, or our next problem, I think, can probably be resolved, and that's going to be the temperature, right? I think that's probably going to be resolvable by utilizing heaters. Allows us to use heaters to heat workplaces during work hours. Each heater raises a workplace temperature by 1 level and consumes 1 coal per hour when running. It's pretty important to get that one. It's either that or faster gathering, I think. Or we could tech up and then try and see if we could get, you know, the coal generator to be more powerful. But always hesitant about this because it started to burn, or it starts burning twice as much coal. Temperature drop is going to happen at night. That is not great. Alright, so there's our medical post. So these are at work 24 hours. I don't know how that works, but fair enough. The engineers are going to go and work over there. So currently all of our engineers right now are employed inside of the workshop and then into the 2 medical posts that we got. Our workers are, well, our kids are right now are working as well. Not great, but it is what it is. We have a bunch of our workers going to town right now inside of that hunter's hut, which is really critical. So they work from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. That's going to bring food, which we can then hopefully process in the cookhouse. You know what? I think I'm actually going to move some of the kids away from that place. And get them working right there in the cookhouse, because it's a much safer job. Don't want to get sick children. Don't know if I'm gonna even be able to really assign any people to that second hunter's hut though. So how much does this return in a day? 13 food a day? 13 raw food a day. And this produces 5 food from 2 raw food. So for easy math, I guess, this means we can supply about, I don't know. We can make like 30 food rations or so a day, right? Yeah, we can make about 30 food rations a day. That definitely means we're gonna need a second hunter's hut. So already, I'm gonna have some troubles here. Because I need to get more workers assigned to that second hunter's hut too. Otherwise, I won't have enough food. Alright, let's go. So that's, by the way, the hunter's leaving. I don't know where they're going, but it's doing something. Another problem. The beacon. While it's been built, and we're no longer lost and blind, we will now be able to serve the Icy Barons and all that, which is great. There it is, right? Beautiful. This also requires me to assign a group of people, and once again, that's workers. So, I have 50 workers. And I guess we're gonna move... Oh, well, I didn't want to click that. I guess we're gonna move these guys that are currently harvesting that into the beacon instead. It's gonna cost me 40 wood and then 5 workers, but we're gonna be able to start exploring the area around New Locopia. So there's some snow-covered supplies, there's a supply depot, and a ruined warehouse. Well, just because, well, I play a lot of StarCraft after all. We're gonna go to one that's closest by. It is gonna be the supply depot. Very nice. A rusty shack. Nothing more can be seen from this distance. Alright, so scout team number 1 is sent towards that supply depot. Now the temperature, excuse me, the temperature is gonna drop. And I think that's where I'm gonna end for today. It's gonna drop in the middle of the night. It's gonna be a rough one. These people, by the way, they are gonna be traveling. It's gonna be all fine and dandy. But I'm a little bit worried about this temperature drop, so it's just about to hit us. 5 a.m. 6 a.m.? I think that's where it's hit. Or maybe 7? It doesn't really matter too much. All we know is that it's gonna get cold. It's gonna be cold real fast. Minus 40 degrees Celsius. It means that while the generator is nice and warm, already one of my medical posts right now is cold, and that means it is inoperative. That means obviously that people that were being healed there previously are no longer being healed. We should certainly move people away from that spot right over there. And I guess our top priority right now, sorry, not that. Our top priority right now is getting that technology tree to research the heaters, because otherwise I can't get any of that work done. For now, we're going to assign the people right here inside of the gathering post, but obviously if I decide to turn on the heaters in all of these workplaces, guess what? I'm going to burn through my coal really quickly. And as we know, the city must survive. I hope you enjoyed watching this very first episode of my new Frostpunk playthrough. If you're new here, hit that like button down below, but also make sure you've hit that subscribe button, as well as the little bell icon, so you get notifications as soon as the future episodes go live. I'm thinking about doing about 2 episodes or so of this a week, so maybe 2, maybe 3 a week or so, we'll see. But regardless, hit the subscribe button. Let me know what you think down below. Should I become an emperor, or should I become a deity? Or am I even, feel free to take guesses as well, am I even gonna, like, survive for long enough to either of these 2 options? You know, for either of these 2 options to become a possibility. Because I'm looking at this right now, not too happy with it. For now, though, I very much so want to thank you for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile. And I'll see you once again in the next episode.